Wayne Webb, Marshall Holman, and Mark Roth, the three winningest and most celebrated bowlers of this decade, to capture the $27,000 first prize. This week we're in Miami with a great field of bowlers and a chance at a $1 million bonus. ABC Sports presents live for the 25th consecutive year, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, we come to you from the warmth of South Florida with an interesting championship field. In the first match, our number 5 qualifier, Mark Baker, the 1985 high average winner, whose only tour victory came at these lanes in 1984. He meets Walter Ray Williams, 26 years old, the reigning World Horseshoe pitching champion, seeking his first pro title. Qualifying third, Amleto Monacelli, 24 from Venezuela, the best foreign bowler on the tour. The number 2 spot belongs to Darryl Bauer, a 30-year-old regional champ from Middletown, Pennsylvania, looking for his second national tour title. The tournament leader, David Ozio from Vidor, Texas, coming off a hot year in 1985, is looking for his third title. All on today's Professional Bowlers Tour. And look at that Miami skyline, sparkling under a semi-tropical sunshine. This is incredible weather here in South Florida. I know that's what you wanted to hear, those of you that have snow on the ground. But nevertheless, we are live for the Lite Beer Classic Finals. $150,000 is total. Our fifth stop on a tour of 16 cities. And this bowling establishment is one of the most attractive of the over 8,000 here in the United States of America. And as attractive as this center is, they've got a name on top of it, Don Carter, that is Mr. Bowling. He's here today watching along with you. $27,000 the winner, but a possibility for one of the bowlers to get the first leg of $1 million. And our money man, Nelson Burton Jr., comes in here to tell you all about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Okay. You're right, $27,000 to the winner of this tournament. But when Chris mentioned $1 million, the Miller Brewing Company has put up an incentive award. If you can win this tournament, a pro can win the tournament Milwaukee, come back and win the third of the Miller's tournaments in Cleveland, he will take home $1 million in addition to the prize money. If he can win 2 of the 3, he takes home a $50,000 bonus. Now, we have a great field out there today. We've had some sensational scores on this, the championship pair. The 5 players have averaged better than 230 during the week. They're playing the extreme outside line. In previous tournaments here, we have seen some players throw the ball off in the channel. 0 that could determine the winner of the tournament. We had the tournament leader throw 8 of those channel balls yesterday. So anything can happen. We're ready for some great scores, great action. Don't forget the $1 million. Chris, we're ready to go.
Okay, Bo, and with great optimism, you look at Mark Baker, a one-time winner, right here, Kendell Lanes in 1984. 5 years of professional, former high school basketball player, 6'3", powerful 195-pounder, who hails from Garden Grove, California. He had a distraction off to the right. Somebody moved, not thinking, but he'll put it together, work on that gum as he moves to the line. He's going against Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Beautiful. That should loosen him up because he had a distraction. He got it out of his mind and a power strike into the pocket. Now, 4 times world horseshoe pitching champion, 7 national titles. This is his second appearance on our telecast this year. He finished 5th in the AC Delco Classic, Walter Ray Williams. All even, Bo. This championship pair should produce some scores.
It has been very good, Chris, as you see the profile of Walter Ray. Basically, it's a 4.5-step delivery. He takes the full approach. He's a tall man, 6'2", has a good position as he drives through with his pivot step. Doesn't have the big hook ball that, say, Monacelli or Baker uses, but this man is a very talented all-around athlete.
2 games in this pair, he averaged 227. Big double for Walter Ray Williams. And he'd like to ring a title in bowling right here today as we take a look at the first breakdown. 27 to the winner, 13 less for second, 8,500. Fourth is 7, fifth is 6,000. Marshall Holman finished 6th and picked up a check for $5 grand. Now going for a double, Mark Baker. Leaving only a 10-pin, bit of a break.
Well, Mark Baker with that big hook as he quickly switches to another ball for spares at cross lane 10-pin. And by the way, this is the tip this week with Marshall Holman, how to change from the power shot down to a straight shot like that.
All right, making that spare, Mark Baker. Incidentally, John Odrodimic, whom we featured in our tease, did not make the field of 5 today, but he has that one victory in the Quaker State tucked under his belt, and we'll hear from him later, I'm sure. Capacity crowd watching Baker. And again, another break. Leaving only the 2-pin on the left lane, lanes 13 and 14, the championship pair.
The hits in the second and third frames were almost identical. The result a little bit different. Watch the action of the head pin. It goes to the sideboard, takes out the 4 and the 8, leaving the 2-pin, and look at it come back across and knock out the 10, avoid the split.
Mark Baker nearly sticking and falling over the foul line. He does have that problem occasionally, Bo, such a big man.
Big man, and he slides very close to the foul line, only about an inch and a half behind the foul line. Walter Ray leads by 7. 11 has the double working, can increase to 21. One of 7 children, all horseshoe players. His mother is the one that got him bowling.
And Deadeye, as he is called, leaves the 6-pin on the right lane.
As you see in the super slow motion, the ball is just a little bit off the mark for Deadeye as he leaves the 6-pin, goes all the way across the head pin. Very simple spare, switches to another harder ball, as many of the players are doing today, to control it for spares. Cross lane, nice shot.
Ah, yes. Very smooth. 2 of our taller bowlers, 6'3" Baker and 6'2" Walter Ray Williams. Won his last title last year in Lafayette, Indiana. World Horseshoe Pitching Champion. 87% ringers. Bo, that is an incredible record.
That's when he won the championship. He holds the world's record, Chris, 91.1% out of 750 shoots.
And he wants a lot of those today. Yet to win, and that's strike in the 4th frame. And he has a 10-pin lead here in our very first game. And we'll be back with more of it live from the Don Carter Kendell lanes in South Florida. A look at our host, Don Carter, and his wife, Paula Sperber Carter. Here again in South Florida. And here is Mark Baker, second appearance this year on our telecast. Trailing by 10, he has a spare up in the 3rd, now shooting in the 4th frame. First game on our live telecast. Well, nearly tripped it, the 4-pin.
Walter Ray Williams tripped the 4 out there in the 4th frame. Baker hits almost the same shot. Watch the action of the 2-pin as it goes to the sideboard. That's the 3rd pin on the left-hand side. When you get the good break, it comes between the 4 and 7, knocks out both pins.
And blew it.
Continually has trouble with making his spares, Chris. Mark is the high average bowler in the Professional Bowlers Tour last year, and yet on TV in 13 championship rounds appearances, he has a dismal 195 average. He needs to be more aggressive. He's a big, strong guy. Let it hang out on the championship round. Don't be timid.
Another 4-pin. Way outside, then hooking a little too high. Here a replay of how close he came to the channel.
We said there are a few balls in the channel this week. That's the line. The players are playing, wow, all the way out. The ball, just by the spin on it, kept it from sliding off. Once again, Baker has the 4-pin, the same spare he missed last frame.
Making sure on the left line is Mark Baker of Garden Grove, California, who is trailing Walter Ray Williams, looking for his first win, which would then qualify him for the Firestone Tournament Champions. Would give him the first leg on the light slam. 10-pin on the right lane.
Deadeye with a chance to put Mark Baker in a lot of trouble very early. Would have increased his lead to 32 with a strike there. Needs to convert the 10 pin to stay 22 pins ahead of Baker through 5 frames.
And he, too, has an open frame by missing on a spare. But they do call him Deadeye. So we asked Walter Ray Williams how he got that name, Deadeye.
Well, in 1970, when I was 10 years old, playing in the World Tournament in the qualifying rounds for the junior division, I had 45 ringers out of 50 shoes, and the statistician there put the nickname on the back of my shirt, and it stuck.
He's talking, of course, of pitching horseshoes.
Old Deadeye must have had that eye covered on the last one as he slipped by the 10 pin. There's only a 10 pin margin between these two players.
Well, a lot of single pins, and as your tip after the next game, Bo, covering spares, making spares, we're getting a lesson here live, aren't we?
I believe you, Chris, but there's one thing I've always kind of been against, and that's changing balls for spares. Now, Deadeye, look how he does it. He just uses his ring finger and his thumb to kill the ball. Mark Ross' tip with me this week is how do you kill it by changing your hand position, which I think is the best method. To use the same ball you're familiar with the grip on and the first ball and change on the second.
Oh, I think in all sports, fads come and go.
I agree, but you have to keep that same feel. I don't like to see the players changing balls.
The longest and smoothest follow-through to date for Walter Ray Williams in making that spare in the 6th frame. Only 10 pins separating these two young professionals. Winner of 1, Mark Baker.
Chris, if Baker can stay with that type of shot, he'll start pushing Walter Ray Williams. Watch this profile. Now, here's what he did so well that time. Big man, 6'3" tall. Watch how he stays down and reaches through the shot. Good extension, gets that ball well down the lane. That's the kind of shot he needs to stay in the match. He could even it up with a double right here in the 7th.
And there is our first, and maybe not the last channel shot today, Nelson.
Chris, we have had some bizarre things happen in the Lite Classic here in Florida. Watch the ball of Mark Baker. Slides it out, hang on, hang on. Adios. That's the same as a foul.
What's your trust is a must?
Or you get no score in this case. This is as good as 9 if he can convert the spare, though, because he has a strike up.
Disappointed by leaving the 10 pin on the left lane. We're in our very first game here at the Lite Beer Classic at the Kendell Lanes in South Florida. Back for the rest of it following this. Immediately follows the Professional Bowlers Tour.
Debbie Thomas, Chris, looking very good. Will give Chin a run, I think, in that ice skating. That's your favorite sport, I think.
Well, it's so beautiful. And if you like music, it is a great combination. Athletic prowess and skill. And there we have it. We have had everything today, and he stayed away from the channel on that shot, Nelson.
They're afraid of the channel. First place, he has a 22-pin lead, and here's what happened. Walter Ray needs to get the ball over here, slide the 3-pin over into the 7-pin to convert the split. Chris, I think you picked it right up. They're afraid of the channel, especially when you have a lead. If he can keep the ball at the channel, hopefully he'll avoid the big splits.
Ooh. And there's another open frame for the man that's trying to win his first PBA title, Walter Ray Williams. And those of you watching at home, there are 100 million people around the world that bowl at least one game a year. And we have all been in the channel one time or another, so the pros do it as well.
A lot of money at stake. It's still match play competition. The reason the players are playing the extreme outside line, that's the line that seemed to work best all week long because they had an erratic roll with their ball in the center of the lane. But it doesn't look much better from the outside.
4, 6, 7, 9, 10. Disbelief.
Here we go. Watch the ball right through the middle. That big hook ball takes out everything but the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. Walter Ray going for the 3, try to bounce him over into the 4-7 zone and convert the split. Oh!
Gallant try for a conversion here on lane 13.
The action, the 6-pin. Bounces off the 9 into the 4 and off into the 7. Often the 7 will jump out and take out the 4. The match is only 4 pins difference. Here we go.
Jumping on it is the Californian. The winner of this game will meet the finest foreign player from Caracas, Venezuela, Amleto Monacelli, and then Darryl Bauer. And the tournament leader, David Ozio, Vidor, Texas.
See that moon on his elbow? I don't. He's not Jim McMahon. There's a little story to that. We'll relate that after this shot.
Oh, that double. Talking to him. Obviously, a word of gratitude. But that double now puts him out by 14.
Look how close he comes to the channel, but that's the angle. If you can get the ball in that position on the lane, look at the strike power. The 6 flips out to 10. Baker has a 14-pin lead, but don't count out Deadeye. He's tough when he's behind. Here he comes.
Man with tremendous amount of competition, whether it be horseshoe pitching or bowling. But he's got a 16-pound object now instead of that 2.5-pound horseshoe.
Deadeye needs 2 more strikes to take the lead. 10th frame, all the money on the line.
6-10.
Not to be, but it's very important that he converts the 6-10 spare. He can still win the match with a 170 type score. Baker would have to get a good count in the 10th frame and mark.
Lane 13, a nemesis for him. And Bo, I don't know. I stayed on the 13th floor of the hotel. I don't like it one bit. 13. Do bowlers ever think about a lane that's numbered 13?
13 is usually the best lane in the house, Chris, because most players don't wear it out.
Okay. Well,
for Walter Ray Williams, a 170 game, he could still win the match. Mark Baker must get 9 on the first ball or 8 or less in a spare. Winner.
Amleto Monacelli will be Mark Baker's opponent. All right, now the adrenaline is flowing. Mark Baker, and look at this shot. Powerful ball.
That 4-pin that he couldn't trip earlier in the match, and he couldn't even convert on a spare shot his first attempt, is the winning shot for him. Just keep it out of the channel, and he goes against Amleto Monacelli.
Very pleased with his performance. Will have his final score will be over 200. And then, of course, back for the Monacelli-Baker second game.